that's always been on my bucket list is to go visit the Arctic Circle in middle of winter. I mean, who goes to the Arctic in the wintertime? You can see perhaps why I chose to fly as far as Fairbanks.
Your safety and well-being are important to us, so please report any unwelcome behavior.
I stayed one night in Fairbanks on the way up and enjoyed the continental breakfast with the multitudes. Now this looks like an authentic Alaskan winter experience. And then I rented a car in Fairbanks to drive to Coldfoot Camp.
I don't know where I am exactly, but I'm about still 5.5 hours from Coldfoot. This is not yet the Dalton Highway. I think this is still the Elliott Highway. That last rest area was not the one I was supposed to stop at. It was like 2 miles further on, but I didn't realize it. So I'd already gotten gas, so I missed the pie. Doggone it. But the scenery here, the trees are all just spectacular. Everything looks so cool, covered in ice and snow. The roads aren't too bad.
Traveling on the road is generally pretty good, but it's kind of weird. It's more like driving on gravel with a bunch of dust, the way the snow is blowing through and stuff. There's little traffic. There's almost none. In fact, I think I've seen one car in the last couple hours and just a handful of trucks, maybe 8 or 9 of them. I'm making good time. I'm probably averaging 50 miles an hour or better. It's kind of weird. My experience with conditions like this where it's almost bare pavement, which has mostly been in Oregon and Washington, is that it's really slippery. But here, it's cool because it's so cold that really it's not slippery at all. I'm just used to all that black ice and stuff. You can see the temperature's 17 degrees now. It was as cold as 24, minus 24. So I'm not having any trouble with the drive at all.
One of the great things about being so cold all the time is the pit toilets and the porta potties don't stink. How cool is that? All right, it's 4:30 p.m. on January 28th. I've made it to the Arctic Circle, latitude 66 degrees, 33 minutes north. I'm 60 miles from Coldfoot. And you can see this isn't just a beehive of activity. It's 4:30. It's not quite dark, but it's twilight. The sunset in Coldfoot was supposed to be at like 5 minutes to 4. Comes up about 10:30, so 10:30 to 4. I rented this Yukon, and it's been pretty darn good. The whole technology thing has worked fine. My biggest problem is overconfidence. It's easy to go fast, and man, I've been making really good time, much better than I should really, given the road conditions and so forth. So that's been good, but I forgot my camera, so I've been using the phone on this entire trip. And I've been sending the spot messages, so I send a spot now to show my kids and family that I'm at the Arctic Circle. There's been no cell service since shortly after the Fairbanks. All right, this is my room at the Slate Creek Inn. This is at Coldfoot Camp, about 60 miles north of the Arctic Circle and about 250 miles north of Fairbanks. It's January 28th, 2020. And this room is $250 a night. It's toasty warm, which is nice because the room I had last night at the Super 8 in Fairbanks was kind of chilly. In fact, I dug out an extra blanket that I brought with me. You can see I brought my toys. I rented this fat bike and the skis, but there's barely room in here for them. There's a little cabinet with extra linens. There's the sink. The fine finished interior, bare wafer board, and this pretty minimal, pretty rustic bathroom. It does look clean and nice. And they said it was going to be rustic, so got what I expected. It's just a little, kind of a shocker though. I was laying around here reading a magazine and realized there are a few things missing from this hotel room. As a standard hotel room, it's missing a television. It's missing an alarm clock. And it's missing the battery out of the fire detector, the smoke detector. I couldn't even get the gear shifter to work, so I had to stop. But I couldn't see either because my glasses were all fogged up. And in the 10 seconds it took me to stop and take off my gloves, the frost, the steam on my glasses froze solid. Pretty funny, pretty cold here. Okay, well, I was only out riding for a few minutes, and my glasses fogged up and then froze. So some guy stopped in the parking lot and said, no, I always have to ride without my glasses and just go blurry. So I'm resigned to doing that, although it significantly diminishes the quality of the experience. I'm into the ride maybe 10 minutes. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm wearing the clothes a little weirdly, so I'm thinking I might be able to put my glasses back on. I'm taking this video so I can see where I've been. The road from Coldfoot comes in from over there. I probably can't video very long. My fingers are already beginning to freeze, but I have a recreational use guideline permit to ride along this trail on the pipeline. I think I may go back to the room, rejigger a little bit more. I think I need to practice 2 or 3 times before I really try to spend much time out on the trail. This is the lobby of the Slate Creek Inn at Coldfoot Camp. I'm inside again, working on yet another iteration of my clothing, trying to figure out if I can make it work on the bicycle. It's quite light out. It's currently, I don't know, 10 o'clock or something. Sun rises for another half hour. This is the only TV in the building. There's none in the rooms. It's 11:15. I'm back at the hotel for another iteration of my clothing. It's all working pretty well. I'm afraid my toes may get a little cold if I spend too much longer out at a time. Finally worked out how to wear my glasses, so that's a huge improvement. And really, other than the toes, which I don't know that I can do anything about, I might try put on another pair of socks, but other than that, my eyebrow ridges, I've got to figure out a way to pull my stocking cap down or something, because man, it gets cold, and then I get a big headache. So that's and that's in 20 minutes or maybe half hour at the outside that I spend outside. It's about 1:15. I just got back from the last iteration, and it went pretty darn well. I've ridden pretty much everywhere you can go in Coldfoot, and then found a place to go up the pipeline to the north. The south was blocked off, and was able to go quite a ways, maybe 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile. And my gear worked pretty well. My thumbs were cold, my toes were cold a little bit, but not frostbite threatening cold. So doggone it, dropped the damn phone in the snow. Oh, dog turds everywhere. This is the entrance to the Coldfoot Airport. Saw a couple planes taking off, but not much activity here, obviously. Road. Snow's kind of crunchy. I rode my bike through here earlier. You can see here that a snowmobile went up This cleared area is the pipeline. It's underground here, crossing this area of Coldfoot. It goes just beyond the end of the snow. You can see there it goes down to Slate Creek, and the creek's frozen over. So I rode my bike out this and up the other side and out, probably grand total of a half mile from this location. And it went reasonably well. The snow, if you get off the snow, if it weren't for the snowmobiles, it would be unrideable. It's probably 2 feet deep and you just disappear in it. But riding on the snowmobile tracks, it's you know, a little bit compacted and works okay, but it's still a ton of work and difficult riding, and it's cold and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to take another swing at this, see if I can get out a mile or two and then come back. But I figure the hour and a half is my limit before my fingers and toes are going to get to the point where they're unusable. I decided to drive up to Wiseman. It's about 1:15 or something in the afternoon. The bicycle thing hasn't worked out all that well, so I'm not going to be able to spend hours on that. Really, about an hour and a half at a time is as much as I can take without getting my fingers and toes really cold. So I thought I'd drive up here to Wiseman, get the car warm, and go take some other pictures of where I've been with the bike. But it's cold. It's 15 out, minus 15 below zero. More of Wiseman. My hands are so cold. It's 24 below. I can't really give you much. I'm out here cross-country skiing on this kind of cool trail. This is the winter trail out of Coldfoot. I'm headed to the left, which is to the east. I saw this cabin that was kind of picturesque. You can see where I've come from over here. Okay, this is the second day I'm up here, and I'm back in the lobby of the hotel after skiing for maybe 45 minutes. It could have been an hour, but I don't think so. But I had to come back in because my gloves are clearly insufficient. I did, you know, as far as everything else goes, it's feeling pretty good. And these cross-country ski boots are toasty warm. Everything is fine, but my fingers were so cold when I got back in here. I had to go through that agony of all 10 fingers thawing out before I could pick up the phone, do the camera thing again. It was agony.
So that was pretty much my experience at Coldfoot Camp. Between the bike and the skis, it was pretty entertaining, but quite a bit colder than I'd really anticipated. Guess, that's what you get when you go to the Arctic in the wintertime. Should have expected it to be cold. So when I got done here though, I just drove back to Fairbanks, and there was a little bit going on there too.
Hi guys, how you doing, huh? Yeah.
One of the main reasons I picked this date to go to see the Arctic Circle is that today is the start of the Yukon Quest sled dog race, which is a 1,000-mile sled dog race similar to the Iditarod. The dogs were amazingly friendly. It was quite fun.
The race again this year. She's doing it for her grandpa. Just really want to make it better.
The river, I think much of the route follows frozen rivers.
You got this! Push!
Solid ice river. Down under, what, a foot of snow.
How cold is it in Fairbanks? It is so cold in Fairbanks that even the dogs have to get in the car to get warmed up.
This is the Ice Sculpture Park, Fairbanks. She said they don't have much out yet, and I don't see any ice sculptures. I see a lot of lights, and everything's covered with snow. So even if it were ice, I probably couldn't tell. These are slides, I think, when they're working. People are using them. Too cold today. It's 24 degrees out. 24 below zero. Holy cow, it's cold. I just went out in the Ice Art Park. Walked around for 15 minutes maybe. It was awfully cold. I'm in the town of North Pole, Alaska. I think this is Santa Land, according to the sign right there. Not sure whether to call this embracing the Christmas spirit, or whether it's just a new height of tacky.
Fairbanks was cool. They even had a street named after me. This was a longer, more expensive trip than I typically take, but it was really nice. I loved the snow. Fairbanks was fun and the dogs were fun. Doing the bike in the snow and the cross-country skiing is always a thrill for me. I love it. So, I'd highly recommend it. It's a worthwhile experience. Thanks for watching.
I'm going home. I'm going home. Been a long time now and I'm going home.
This is the Odd Man, out.